Hi, this is Lindsay, one of the co-hosts of Beauties and Headcanons. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Julianne Condia, host of Rewritten, here on Public House Media. Thank you so much for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Rewritten, where we will talk about you having limitless potential and can rewrite your story at any time. No matter your background, your past, or current situation, you can have the type of life you crave. A new show comes out every single Monday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Rewritten. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Hello, everyone. It is finally No Filter Friday, Public House Media. And can I just tell you how hard it is to do this new live situation? Because I'm not used, I have to get into the Public House Media page and then, live from that. And, this week should not have been a problem. Last week, I let it slide because my Wi-Fi was at fault for that. But now I blame Facebook. I'm so over it. Anyway, hello, David Bobke. Thanks for coming in. But in true No Filter Friday fashion, pink robe, fan favorite, Chipotle cup, usually making an appearance. And here we are. So I thought we would take some time and go over the fundamentals of Me Too. And not only just the fundamentals of Me Too, but the fundamentals of #MeToo as they pertain to this show, No Filter Friday. So I'm going to take a second and share these because sharing is caring. So if you're caring, you should be sharing too. So I'm going to take a minute to share, and then you should also take a minute to share because we all love each other. That's why I do this show live. So with that being said, today in April, here we are, a year and a half into Me Too, and it makes me think thoughts, because at this point, I've always said that people, off the record, people slide in my DMs, people slide in my DMs and ask me things or want to talk about things as it pertains to #MeToo, because I do this show. Well, with that being said, we're going to talk about, okay, so there's two things that kind of happened with Me Too this week that I really enjoyed, that I thought was fun. And then we will go over that, and then we will get to what No Filter Friday is not, because it is some things, but it is not all things. So with that being said, hang on, let me move over to my big thing here. Okay. Tea or something else tonight. Tea. Always. If not tea, sparkling water, because if your water's not sparkling, what are you doing with your life? So with that being said, first I'm going to share with you my favorite tweet that has been circulating that I saw today. And I've seen some good Twitter action for #MeToo, but this is a new one. So this is from Kat Black, and she posted this on April today, and I think it's my favorite. It's my favorite one so far. So she says, "I genuinely don't understand why people think inappropriately touching a woman was okay in the 50s but has become taboo in 2019, ? Biggest difference between now and then, ? Women have more of an ability to be heard. It was always inappropriate. Stop acting like #MeToo made it wrong." And she's doing really well with this tweet. It's gotten 126 retweets and 436 likes, which for a following that she has, considering she posted it today, it's doing really well. If you're wondering who Kat Black is, she is a YouTuber, illustrator, animator, and writer. But I thought that was interesting because what made it my favorite is that we are living in a time where people are using the hashtag #MeToo movement for a plethora of, I don't want to, it's highly, you can use it for a few things. And, some are forces for good and some are forces for evil. But that is a really good point. Like, a lot of times, especially now that the media is kind of, some factions of the media are going a different direction with the story, or with the narrative of like, in the era of Me Too, like, you can't do this and you can't do that. And they're not missing the point. They're genuinely misleading the point to the fact that, like, this was never okay. The media just now ran the story, which took, oh, Miliani's here. Hello, Miliani. Everybody, again, that's where open secret came from, the phrase open secret. When Harvey Weinstein's story broke, not this past October, but the one before, Hollywood was not shocked. We all knew this. Everyone knew this, which is why, like, people like Meryl Streep caught so much flack for being like, I didn't know. Yeah, you did, because we all knew. We all knew what Harvey Weinstein was up to for years and years and years and years and years. And what put the nail in the coffin for the Weinstein Company was that in his employment contract, it said he could basically do whatever he wants so long as he paid for his own defense fund. So that's what sank that ship, because people knew that they knew. And they couldn't really get away with that, which is fine. That's how the cookie crumbled, whatever. But, oh, and Aussie's here. With that being said, like, when I was sitting in a producer conference, and one of the people there came up under Bob Weinstein. He was Bob's assistant for many years, and he just kind of like faded into the background like a Homer Simpson gif. And that's what people were shocked about, is that the media ran the story. We were all like, this is the news? I knew this. This is not news. This is not a new piece of information. We all knew this, but to the general public it was. And that was because of those sort of stories being suppressed by the people that were involved in them, and then them having their, vice grip around the media, or the media's willful vice grip around those stories to not put them out. What was shocking was that they figured out how to put, like, the New York Times, the Atlantic, and the LA Times, and the New Yorker, also instrumentally, figured out that they could just print this stuff, that it could just be out there. And then furthermore, they figured out the strategy of, like, taking perpetrators of these sorts of things down. Like, when Brett Ratner's a beautiful example of that. The LA Times got his story, and they sat on it, and they put together a dais, if you will, of 12 chicks. And they're like, we're going to run, and they let the word slip before the LA Times ran the story, because that's how we got caught up in it with the Gal Gadot and what was that? The Jewish Federation, I think that was. Go back to the Brett Ratner episode and go listen to that, because that's its own animal. But I'm just using that as an example because it's kind of extreme. The media decided to start putting these stories out, and then they figured out that, oh, you don't just do a trickle effect. You don't just take one chick or, and then put out another one and, like, have a gap of time. Like, no, you need a stack of accusers to all come out at once. That way there's nowhere to run. There's, like, you can't run and you can't hide from the story. Like, you have to address it, because it's one thing to attack one chick. It's one thing to attack two chicks, or maybe even three. But once you get up over four, that makes things considerably more challenging. And then once you get up over 10, you can't fight it. You can't, like, unless you have really, really, really serious, like a serious defense, you can't fight it. It's over with. So that was the shocking part. But the thing is too, is like, it's made, and we've talked about this before several times, but, like, it's made certain people that weren't doing anything wrong feel like they need to be doing even more nothing wrong. So I found this book, which I'm thinking about ordering it. You guys are going to have to let me know if you think I should order this book. I think it's a worthy cause. I was reading if you want to see some interesting stuff, go to the Stanford Law Review, and they have all of these different like law student papers, if you will, on like law, especially in California, and like as it pertains to the hashtag MeToo movement. But let me go back to the, nope, forward. There's a book that this guy wrote, and it's like for it's like the man's guide to me too. Okay, here it is. It's on Wordy. It's $8.99 and there's free shipping, so it's a deal. We love deals around here on No Filter Friday. Come on, work with me here. It's also on Amazon, so you can get it on Amazon too. And it's got 5 stars. It's a pretty good rating. So there it is. It's the little hashtag Me Too book for men by, what is this author's name that I'm blanking on? By Goodman's Project Senior Editor Mark Green. But the idea is that he's getting really, really great reviews. Lisa Hickey, CEO of the Good Men Project, says this isn't just a book, it's a thunderbolt, a powerful call to end men's silence on sexual assault. Michael Kasdan said, with deep compassion for men, Green calls out our better selves. From Lisa Dugan, Mark Green has written a timely, compelling book that connects two seemingly disparate issues with the widespread silence and cultural acceptance of sexual violence against women and the emotional assault against men that begins when they are boys. We cannot cure one without treating the other. Boom. And I think that's the major caveat to this. But basically, this book calls out kind of how we got into this gender paradox that we are. And it says, in just 75 brief pages, Good Men Project Senior Manager Mark Green exposes the brutal price that the man box culture extracts from men and women worldwide. The little hashtag MeToo book for men is a concise, no-holds-barred call to action, inviting men to step out of silence and isolation and into the battle for a better future. So I'm thinking about ordering this, but it's got some really nice reviews. But we've talked about this again on this show on several occasions. 1 in 6 boys is sexually assaulted when they're children. And when people that are boys that are sexually assaulted as children have a 97% rate of becoming pedophiles themselves, of becoming sexual predators themselves. Oh, hello, Sean Dawes. I met Sean at another producer conference that I went to this week, and then he had a party for his indie scene platform. It was a lot of fun. We went from W to W. We did a W hotel tour. But that's besides the point. I thought that was an interesting new thing now that we're having not just like, news stories on Me Too or my, little old me talking about it, but actual books on the subject. And I think I've been thinking of kind of doing that myself. And be like, No Filter Friday, the book? Maybe, possibly. But this week was kind of interesting because considering like what's happened with Joe Biden and then Cardi B's news story of the past 2 weeks, but like people will call me up and ask me things, or they slide in my DMs and want to talk about stuff, which is great. That I do this show live for that reason. I open up. I mean, my DMs are no place that you want to go, but people do slide in them, and that's fine, whatever. And it's a dialogue show. I'm not here to talk at you. I'm here to talk with you. And that's, that is the flag that No Filter Friday on Public House Media flies under. So I've had a lot of people call me like, oh, you're totally going to do the show on Joe Biden this week. And like, I don't know Joe Biden, and I don't know anybody that he has touched. So I can't really, in the interest of this show, really be of any help with that. And then people also ask me about Cardi B, like, oh, talk about Cardi B saying that she like drugged and robbed dudes like when she was a stripper. contrary to popular belief, I don't know Cardi B. I don't know any of the clubs that she danced in. I don't know any of her friends. So I can't really, like, as it pertains to the show, No Filter Friday, like, I can't really do the show on either of those situations because, like, until I, like, know someone or have some sort of affiliation with those people, I can't really help you in that way. And I kind of had some of that, when the show was published on YouTube for the Michael Jackson R. Kelly, like that was a kind of a major episode for the show. Some people were commenting like, talk about the jewelry or talk about this, or talk about that. I'm like, well, Corey Feldman or like any of the other people that I know that were close with Michael, like they never mentioned that to me. So I can't really help you in shedding light on that specific subject because nobody's ever said anything to me about it and I don't really know. The point of No Filter Friday is for me to talk about all things Me Too, but from inside of Hollywood. The reason why I am able and willing and wanted to do this show was because more often than not, I do know the people involved, or I know the people surrounding the article, or I have some experience in like in a movie or a music video or a TV show or something that or someone something somewhere, or I have a good source. But unfortunately I don't for either one of those people, and that happens quite a bit. Like people have asked me like, you don't cover any politicians. I'm like, I don't really know that many politicians. I know a couple, I've had dinner with a few, but as it pertains to like a hashtag Me Too news story, nobody's really come up with that situation, and that's just the way it is. So I wanted to go over and have a reminder of what hashtag No Filter Friday on Public House Media really does. The reason I do this is because the media leaves stuff out. If I just sit here and regurgitate what the media has put out, then I'm not really helping the situation. Like, my opinion's my opinion, but I don't care about anyone that doesn't have firsthand experience with X, Y, or Z that's going on in the news. And I use the news as a very, very loose term. Like, I don't care about people's like not firsthand opinions. Like, I really, really don't care. Even if it's for something as small as like some random saying something random about another random's, incident. Like, unless you have found yourself in a similar situation or you have any kind of experience even in your own life with it, I literally do not care what you have to say, and neither should anyone else. Like, we're putting far too much of a premium on like rando opinions. Ugh. Sorry, I'm allergic to randoms. Look at me, I'm coughing, I'm almost sneezing. I'm allergic to randoms, and so should everyone else. Like, they're irrelevant. Who cares? We like, if you look at like a traditional news broadcast hour, they'll spend 20 minutes on what random people tweeted. Whoop-de-doo. What does that do for anyone except for eat up airtime that they can sell advertising around? Because there's a little blue tick mark next to that person's tweet or that person's Instagram. Who cares? I don't. I certainly don't care. Like, it doesn't, we have put so much as a society, as a media machine, we have put so much emphasis on what does this person think that wasn't there, doesn't know this person, or has zero personal experience with any of this. What? Really? That's taking up a 20-minute news block? Like, what are we doing? Seriously? Like, this is crazy. It's absolutely senseless. Like, you look at, which is why people can't stand celebrities getting up on their soapbox and running their mouths about anything that doesn't pertain to them. Or even if it does pertain to them, it's like, that's not really your lane. Like, you can scream First Amendment all you want, but like, I'm not going to deny that you have a right to say it, but it probably doesn't behoove you to. And furthermore, you're not adding anything to the situation because that situation had nothing to do with you. So thank you, next. Like, I would much rather hear from somebody who has firsthand experience. And not only that, but like a lot of times, like people with firsthand experience get shoved out of the way. And I will tell you, when I interviewed the infallible, fabulous Orlando, in Orlando, from, he told me about his experience with the Pulse nightclub attack, and how he was in the bathroom with Omar Mateen while he was shooting people in the stall next to him, and how he had to play because he fell off the toilet that him and his friend were like lodged themselves on. He fell off and he was laying in the ground, and Omar Mateen touched his back and he had to play dead. Anything that Orlando Torres says to me about the Pulse nightclub attack, I will far and above take his word over anybody else's, because, or any media news source. Like, the things that man told me about what happened are night and day in comparison to what the media portrayed. Like, it's just, we have to get a handle on this swirling, festering cesspool of what opinion is. Like, I don't want to give you just my whatever opinion on something because it's in the news. This is not a celebrity news show. It's not. We talk about news and we talk about celebrities, but it is not a celebrity news show. Like, we're far more compartmentalized than that. So we're just not going to do that. I don't know Cardi B. I don't know Joe Biden. Like, as soon as somebody like comes forward about either one of these people and I happen to talk to them, or I, for whatever reason, ended up knowing them, then sure, why not? But I gotta have at least some sort of a connection to this person to do it on the show. Like, if you want to, hit me up and ask me opinion, like, not on the show, like just me as a person occupying a pink bathrobe and a never-ending supply of Chipotle cups. Sure, great. But as far as the show goes, no, that's not really what it is about. It's about us having a dialogue and me giving you all of these experiences that I've had while being a model, actress, or producer over the past 18 years. That's what I have to add to this hashtag #MeToo movement story situation. So, nope, not doing a show on people that I don't really know. I wish I knew Cardi B. I really do. She seems like tons of fun. But with that being said, I have no idea. I've never done music videos with tons and tons and tons and tons of people. And not only that, but like not just like those, like the person that was like the artist that was like we were doing the video for, but like them, people have showed up. Like, I think I told you the story about when I did the J. Cole music video. Like, Drake just showed up and sat around and ate our catering. It did not at all contribute to the situation, but like, even still, like I've never worked on anything with her, and I don't know her. I wish I did. She seems like a lot of fun, but as it stands now, I haven't worked with her and I don't know her. And that's that. Oh, hang on. Who came in here? Let me see. David Bobke, I wish knew Cardi B too. I really do. Like, I haven't been to the Grammys in a minute. I haven't seen some of these people in quite some time. So, or the American Music Awards. Haven't been to that show in a while. It's just, it's just unfortunate, but, or like sometimes I meet people on the red carpet, like I'll end up on a premiere or something like that. I'm like, oh yeah, that person. We were in the carpet together. Blah, 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 blah. Like, just at meeting events. But I haven't been to a party that Cardi B was at recently. I went to an Oscar party that Ashley Graham was at, and that was super exciting to see. Like, you have never seen a booty until you've seen this girl's booty. Good Lord in heaven. It will knock you over. Like, from the sight of it, like from across the room. Like, she doesn't even have to touch you. A hand will extend and like smack you. And it's wonderful. It's glorious. I think it feels the same as like if Naomi Campbell will throw a phone at you. But again, that's my speculation. And my speculation is not what the show is about. So, with that being said, unless I'm super excited, like last week we talked about how because of the hashtag #MeToo movement, Candace Bushnell is putting out like another book in the vein of that. That's wonderful. But as far as like talking about people and giving my opinion on who's right and who's wrong and, you know, condoning or condemning, I don't have the right to do that because I don't know those people. And again, I wish I did, but I don't. It's just not my situation. But speaking of music videos, I don't ever do this on the show, and I think I should maybe start doing it. Like, well, let me know what you think. But I did have a music video that I produced, came out last week, maybe. I think so, because I was at my conference last week. I was like in the middle of a producers conference, and I just get like my social media just lights up. I'm like, what am I tagged in? Like, oh my God, what did I do? And I'm like, oh, that music video that I made months ago, it came out finally. Who knew? The label never no one tells me anything. Okay. I'm a donkey. I'm a beast of burden. I pull a cart around and then they kick me out of the way, basically. But I had that come out, and it's been, I have to say thank you to a few people. I have a list. I prepared my list of people to thank. It was super fun. So we were very fortunate. Music video, the label put the video out, and immediately Danny Trejo, who is so wonderful and sweet and fantastic, and the man has tacos and donuts. He's this close to Jesus, if you ask me. Danny Trejo put it on his Instagram, which was so nice. So did Michael K. Williams. If you don't know who Michael K. Williams is, he's this awesome actor, and he played Chalky White on Boardwalk Empire. He's super cool. And then my lovely, wonderful, fantastic, and funny friend, Maz Jabrani, he tweeted it. And then today, I'm going to botch his last name, and I apologize, but you should hold an award. I will hold my piggy bank. Does this look good, David Bobke? Is this a thing? Okay. And then I think I'm getting it right. Do you hold it like this? Is this the idea? Danny Trejo has tacos and donuts. I want to be his dear friend. Me too, dude. Like, I think I did like a movie or two with him, and Steven did Storks with him. Like, I've met him a few times. I should be on good friend status at this point. And then, I'm sorry, I'm going to botch this name. John Leguizamo? I know I said that wrong, but you know who I'm talking about. He made a Facebook post about it, which was so nice and sweet of him. So thank you for that to all of those people, and hopefully it will just keep getting better and better because of their support and from viewers like you. I'm starting to sound like TBS. Anyway, so that is the conclusion of No Filter Friday. I wanted to clear the conclusion of No Filter Friday that clears up confusion, because I don't know these people. I wish I did. If I did, it'd be a way more fun show, but I don't. So I deeply apologize for that. I'm gonna have to step up my Cardi B game. I will put that on my to-do list, which is over here. You see how long this to-do list is? Pages and pages and pages. I'll put that on my to-do list. Become BFFs with Danny Trejo, finally. Eat as many tacos and donuts as possible, and also become friends with Cardi B. Joe Biden's a little off-putting. I don't really want to be friends with him if I don't have to. I will take one for the team for the show, but other than that, no. So I will see you all. Oh, Dylan Wenzel. Hello, Dylan Wenzel. I will see you all next week for another No Filter Friday. Lord only knows what's going to happen between now and then, because #MeToo is like an hourly update kind of a thing. I feel like I could do the show every day if A, I had more time, and B, I didn't have to wash this robe. I would have to rotate robes. It would be like a whole thing. I think my cleaning lady would be upset because it'd be more laundry. Anyway, that's besides the point. If you're a podcast listener, give us anybody, podcast or live show, audience member, give us a share. And if you are a podcast listener, leave a review or some stars or a thumbs up, or wherever it is that you get your podcast, because No Filter Friday is available basically everywhere. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, iTunes, all those places. Like, leave a review and share it. Like, if you're talking, like, I would imagine that if you're watching the show or you're listening to this show, you also like talking about the #MeToo situation. You are a tea spiller. Just admit it to yourself. get yourself a really beautiful teacup and, share the show and we'll all talk about it together because sharing is caring. And like, how are we like we're spilling tea? It's no fun to spill tea if nobody saw it. Like that's just silly. So I will see you all next week. Who knows what's going to happen? I never know. And I'm, not that I'm really surprised anymore, but sometimes I get really excited about, I'm like, oh, this wonderful thing happened. And now I get to, on Friday at 8:30 p.m., I get to yak to all of you about it. So I will see you next week and check out other shows on Public House Media. Bye, 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 bye.